manifestors. How's everyone doing out there? How are you doing in this game called Planet Earth? I hope you're scoring up. This is 𝗙C𝗿 with another video, and I want to talk about something very briefly today. It's not going to be a terribly long video, although I always say that, right? What I want to touch on today is a very, very powerful technique. Now, I don't usually talk about techniques that much. I don't usually do videos specifically on techniques, but this is a very important one. And, you know, this is one that comes in handy for all of you out there who are always wondering about quantum shifting and all that kind of stuff, right? And the technique, or the exercise, if you want to call it that, whatever you want to call it, is called viewpointing. Now, if you'll recall, and I've mentioned this in many videos before, that really what you want to do is you want to start looking at your desire from the perspective of a version of you that is already living that desire. Okay? So in other words, you want to move into alignment with it by looking at it from the perspective of having already accomplished it. But one of the things that's, you know, this is kind of a difficult thing to do for a lot of people because we're so locked into looking at where we are right now, looking at the reality as it is. And of course, we've been trained our whole lives to think of reality as it is, as being somehow immovable, somehow very, very, set in stone. There's not much we can do to it, to change it, except to do a lot of efforting and a lot of hard work and all this kind of stuff. But of course, in manifesting, we understand, as well as in quantum shifting, it's really the same thing, guys. These are just different terms we apply to the same processes, the same idea, the same understanding, is that reality is much more fluid than that. In fact, it's completely fluid. It emanates from you and your understanding of yourself and the perspective that you've chosen to adopt. And it's always a choice that you make, the perspective that you choose to adopt. When you're looking at everything and going, oh my God, how do I get that thing that I want? How do I get from here to over there? You're really looking at it through the perspective of, I don't have it yet. I don't have it. It's difficult to obtain. It takes a long time. It's tedious. And of course, you want to switch to a perspective of where you already have that thing in order to align yourself with it. You need to feel and think and act and walk like you already have your desire in place. It's already in your pocket. Well, one of the ways that you want to do this is to shift, of course. You want to shift your viewpoint from one of, I'm the person who doesn't have this, who's trying to figure out how to get it, who's trying to work hard to get it, who's trying to, convince, manipulate, do whatever I need to do, work hard, push against the reality in order to get what I want because I don't have it yet. You want to switch that viewpoint to one of, I have it, it's done, even though I don't see it yet in my physical reality because physical reality is slow to catch up to my vision, to my understanding of already having it. Right? That's called viewpointing. You want to switch to a different viewpoint. You want to switch to the viewpoint of the version of yourself that is living what you want. But of course, that's difficult to do. For a lot of us, it's difficult to do when we're so locked into looking at how things are right now, right? Because the monkey mind wants to protest the moment that you say, oh, I have it. It goes, really? Where is it? Where is it, buddy? Come on, show it to me. And this is, again, a symptom of our upbringing and our society where, I'll believe it when I see it. How many times have you heard that? Okay. This is kind of the way we, I'm going to just come out and say it. We worship science. We worship this idea of reality, only what you can see and perceive is what's real, which of course is nonsense. If anyone ever says that to you, ask them, do you love your mother? And then they go, yes. And you go, well, prove it. Show it to me. You can't, right? There are intangible things in this world. There are things that we can't just show to everyone. There are experiences that we have and feelings that we have that we can't prove to other people. Doesn't mean they're not real. In fact, they're as real as anything else. Okay. Maybe even more real than what appears to be right in front of us. Okay. Your vision is more real. What you feel inside is more real and happening more in the now than anything outside around you in your physical third dimensional reality. So one of the things, and what I always stress, guys, is practice. Okay, it's like learning the piano, learning a new language. You need to get behind it. You need to practice these techniques. So one of the techniques that I really love is called viewpointing. And really, it just is a thing that teaches you Not to look at the thing that you want, but to look as it, to look as the version of yourself that has the thing already. So a very simple way to do this, and it may not seem simple at first, it may seem complicated and weird at first, but you want to practice switching your viewpoint to different perspectives and looking at things from different perspectives. This is a powerful technique, guys, that if you practice it, and you really should be doing it kind of on a daily basis, I think, as far as practice goes, do your piano scales or whatever it is. Practice your French lessons, that's same thing. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't have to be hard work. It can be really enjoyable. It can be kind of quirky. It can be kind of fun. But it's very, very simple. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually switch to, you're going to look at some inanimate object. This is how you're going to begin. Okay. It really comes down to pick an apple, pick the computer you're looking at, pick whatever it is, a tree, a plant. Of course, that's a living thing, but it's kind of inanimate in terms of looking at it. I mean, it's growing, but you can't perceive it growing right in front of your eyes. So it seems like an inanimate object. Look at a picture, look at any object around you right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to just accept the fact that those objects, even inanimate objects that aren't made of biological material or whatever, have a consciousness. Okay. Everything has a consciousness attached to it. We're all part of the same consciousness, the same energy field. Now, a thing like an apple or a rock, may not have self-awareness. Okay. It may not have intelligence, but it has consciousness. Okay. So you want to become aware of the consciousness in everything around you. That same energy field that runs through everything and runs through us. And yes, even your specific person and all this other stuff and money and all the things that you want. Okay. So you're going to project, you're going to contemplate that for a minute, that object. Let's call it a rock. Okay. And you're going to project yourself into the rock. It's a little thing. Wow, the storm's kicking up right now. I don't know if you hear this, guys, but we just got gusts of wind. Hey, the energy is flowing. You're going to project yourself into that rock, and you're going to look at the world from the perspective of the rock. What might the rock be perceiving from its place of consciousness as a rock? Okay. Again, this may feel silly to you at first. All right. But stick with it. It can be fun and it can be very, very enlightening. Okay. Now, from the perspective of the rock, you're going to pick another object as the rock. Remember, we're learning here not to look at things, but to look as things, okay? So now you are looking at your surroundings, your physical surroundings as the rock. And from the perspective of the rock, you're going to pick another object. Okay. And then from the perspective of the rock, you're going to go into that object and look at things from its perspective. So let's say from the perspective of the rock, let's say that there's a banana nearby. And you're going to, project your consciousness and your awareness into the banana. And then again, you repeat the process. As the banana, you're going to look around and you're going to look at another object. And as the banana, you're going to project your consciousness and your awareness into that object. And on it goes. You keep doing that. Okay. And you can spend a good 10, 15, 20 minutes doing this every day. It doesn't have to be hours, although you can if you're having fun and enjoying it. But notice how this is, this is a very expansive kind of exercise, all right? And this is one that's really going to teach you how to project your awareness and your consciousness and to begin to look at things from different viewpoints than the viewpoint that you've been practicing so far as your ego self, looking at the world only from this one perspective that you've adopted, okay? Again, from that, once you kind of get it down with inanimate objects, what you want to do is then you begin to switch you do this with animals or people, right? Pick a bird or pick a dog or a cat, and look at things from its perspective. And then, of course, as the bird, find another kind of being, this time another animal, maybe even a person, right? So you move yourself up as you get better and better at this. You can begin to look at things from the perspective of other people as well. Now, this may, in fact, make you much more compassionate, right, towards others, understanding things from their perspective. We call this empathy as well, right? But again, what you're going to do is you're building your viewpointing muscle to the point where eventually, with practice, you're going to be able to switch your viewpoint like that, okay? You're going to be able to go, hey, I want to manifest that car. I want to manifest that pile of money. I want to manifest that relationship with that specific person. You're going to be able to switch into the viewpoint of the version of yourself that is experiencing those things, that has those things in their life. All right. So again, it's so important to be able to do this viewpointing because, when you switch from, it's not going to be immediately easy to switch from just the viewpoint, like I said already, of I don't have this thing and I'm this little person in this situation, stuck in this circumstance, stuck in this location. When you do the viewpointing exercise, your perspective is going to expand dramatically. Okay. There's not many techniques that I'm going to go, hey, you really should do this every day and whatever. But this is one that I think will be of enormous benefit to you. And if you can stick to this one thing, you'll see that with time, as you practice it, you will be able to switch much more easily into another perspective, into an alternate perspective, and ultimately into the perspective of different versions of you that is living the reality and circumstance that you prefer. Okay. And you'll see that what that actually is, and as I've titled this video partly, that is quantum shifting. Okay. People think quantum shifting has to do with jumping from reality to reality, from timeline to timeline. Yes, it does, and it doesn't. What you're doing is you're shifting and jumping between different versions of yourself who hold different perspectives. They either hold empowering perspectives or limiting perspectives. And maybe you're in a perspective right now, a version of yourself right now that is holding a somewhat limiting perspective on a specific topic or a specific situation, which is why you come to these videos, you try to learn manifesting because, I want that thing. I want that person. I want that condition. I want that house. I want this circumstance. So you need to be able to project yourself into a different perspective, a different version of yourself that has a different perspective. And of course, the version of yourself that has the thing that you want most is going to have a very different perspective from the version of yourself that's looking at things the way they are right now, right? I mean, it makes sense. It's logic. For those of you who are the logic hounds out there, think about it. That's logical, isn't it? How can you align with something? How can you obtain something if you're looking at it from the perspective of not having it? I mean, that's manifesting in a nutshell. And that's quantum shifting in a nutshell. Consider really and embrace the idea that there are these infinite versions of you out there leading infinite different versions of your life, infinite different circumstances, and that have infinite different perspectives. So you need to become familiar with those versions of yourself. You need to become familiar with the idea of being able to shift perspective and shift viewpoints. And I think this exercise, and if you start with little inanimate objects, that's a really good way to build that viewpointing muscle for yourself, okay? And it's a very powerful and very important thing to be able to do. And you'll find as you get better and better at it, and you practice it more, you get better and better at it, it's going to become much easier for you to align with the thing that you want. And really all that alignment means is to feel the way that you would feel if you have it, which is adopting that specific perspective of already having that thing, that person, that circumstance, that condition, whatever it is. Okay? If you're feeling unhealthy, well, what does the healthy version of you feel like? Think about it, okay? And as you do this exercise, you'll be able to shift easily into that perspective. So I want you to give this a try, guys. This is a homework assignment. Tarkan is giving you a homework assignment. I don't give many homework assignments, but I'd love to hear in the comments, if you've already tried this exercise, if you're familiar with it, what are your experiences with it? What tips can you give people out there? What pointers? And if you are about to try it, leave comments in a week or a couple of weeks or something on this video and let everyone know, hey, I tried this and it works, or it's great, or here's something to watch out for, or whatever it is that you want to share about this. I'd love to hear it, and so would everybody else, okay? So thank you very much for watching. That's pretty much it for this video. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I hope that you have gained some value of this from this video. If you have, please hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, and you like the cut of my jib, and you want to hit that notification bell thing so that you can be updated on when I upload my videos. Please hit like. Please share this video with anyone you think might benefit from it. If you want to leave me a tip, you can do so down below in the description box. There's a couple links for that for Cash App and PayPal, whichever one you prefer. And I do appreciate all the tips, guys, for these videos. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me, all the new subscribers. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers. I'm always happy for that. So thank you guys for subscribing, and welcome to the channel. Yeah, you'll get to know me and how things work. I'm not that, I guess you could say I'm not that, I don't have a very rigid kind of way of doing these videos, except that when I get ideas or I have some comments from you guys that I really like, I think are interesting, and I think that other people are going to benefit from, I'll read them in the video, I'll discuss them and touch on them in the video. So this is a pretty open kind of format, right? It's just pretty much me jabbering, sitting down on my butt and turning on the camera going, hey, everybody, all right? I like to do things that way. Perhaps it's a little bit unconventional. I don't know. Who knows? And maybe in the future, in the coming year, I'll do some different kinds of things with the channel. I'm thinking about it, okay? I'm thinking about doing different kinds of series. So that's another thing that maybe you could do a suggestion if you want to leave the comment on this video with a little suggestion of, just things that you think might be interesting for me to talk about, for me to think about, different things to cover in videos, a different way to do things. I'd love to hear them, all right? It doesn't mean I'm going to do those things necessarily. But I will look at them, and I'm always open to suggestions and ideas. And going into the new year, we're wrapping up this insane year, on this strange timeline that we all find ourselves on. Interesting, isn't it? That's a good thing to be able to practice. What about the version of you that has gone past this timeline, that has gone through this experience, and now we're back to a different kind of reality, a different kind of world, and all of us are sort of better off for it, maybe. We've grown, we've matured, right? We've become stronger. That would be an interesting experiment to do in terms of, hey, what kind of a year are you going to decide that 2021 will be for you? But maybe we'll talk about that some more as we get closer to the actual new year. We can touch on some of that stuff. So anyway, for now, suffice it to say, please try the viewpointing technique. Let me know how it works out for you, or if you have experience with it already, just comment whatever you want about it, and share your experiences and share any pointers and tips that you might think are important for people to know. So thank you again for watching, guys. This is Tarkan. And until next time, I wish you happy manifesting and 𝗙𝗰𝗀𝗀𝗍𝗍.